What if I told you that reinforcing problem behavior could actually help reduce it? Not accidentally, not as an error, but on purpose. It sounds wrong, right? We're taught to avoid reinforcing behaviors we want to decrease. But what if the answer isn't about withholding reinforcement completely, but it's actually about how we distribute the reinforcement? That's the power of concurrent schedules of reinforcement, which is a strategy rooted in the matching law. And one of the most underused tools we have to reduce challenging behavior without relying on extinction. Now, here's where things usually fall apart, especially when we're working with families. We write a clean extinction plan on paper, but the real world doesn't follow scripts. What happens when parents can't implement extinction with 100% fidelity? The behavior doesn't fade, it actually intensifies. That inconsistency doesn't weaken the behavior, it strengthens it. It becomes an intermittent schedule of reinforcement. So stick with me because the next part could completely shift the way you write behavior plans, especially when extinction isn't safe or realistic. Extinction isn't just hard to implement. It can feel cruel, parents feel guilty about it, and teams feel discouraged. And in some cases, extinction bursts escalate into behaviors that are actually just very dangerous. We tell families to stay strong, to wait it out. But what we're really doing is setting them up to either fail or to suffer. But what if we didn't have to withhold reinforcement at all? What if there was a way to intentionally provide it just in a little bit of a different way, in a way that still shifts behavior without relying on deprivation or burnout? For years, I thought extinction was just part of the job. If we wanted real behavior change, we had to be willing to withhold reinforcement for problem behavior, no matter how hard it got. But in the real world, especially with families or when safety is a concern, this wasn't just hard, it was really unsafe. So I started asking a different question. Do I really have to stop all reinforcement, or can I shift the reinforcement instead? I remember one day I was meeting with a parent and we were talking about an extinction procedure that that had been recommended to her before. And I actually told her that if you can't if you can't withhold the reinforcer 100% of the time and be 100% consistent, you have to respond at the first sign of those behaviors coming. Those precursor behaviors are critical. But that's when I came back to something that I learned in grad school, but really didn't see applied in practice very often. And it's concurrent schedules of reinforcement. This isn't just theory, it's a way to shape behavior by design. If you're still wondering what this looks like, these are scenarios that we're already working with, and they're already just a little bit reframed. So a learner can ask appropriately and get 5 minutes with the iPad right away, or the alternative schedule is that the learner can scream and eventually get 1 minute after calming down. Or maybe a student completes their task and earns tokens toward a prize. Or if they refuse, they still get some peer attention. That's a concurrent schedule too. When we recognize these competing contingencies, we can design them intentionally instead of letting them sabotage the plan. So here's what surprised me. Using intentional concurrent schedules didn't just make plans more doable, it often made them more effective than pure extinction procedures. Behavior doesn't change just because reinforcement is unavailable. It changes based on where the best available reinforcement is. The matching law explains it. Behavior flows toward higher value outcomes. So if both behaviors contact reinforcement, but one delivers more in quantity, quality, speed, or predictability, the learner will allocate behavior there. Once I stopped seeing extinction as the default and started seeing behavior through the lens of relative reinforcement value, everything starts to change. I realized I could reduce problem behavior without removing reinforcement. I could shape it by adjusting the immediacy, the quality, or the effort required to obtain reinforcement. So let's make it practical. If you want to use concurrent schedules right now, here are 3 simple steps. Don't aim for zero reinforcement. Aim for better reinforcement. Make the reinforcement for the replacement behavior clearly more valuable and be consistent about it. Then 2, make the problem behavior less efficient and not unrewarded. Use longer delays to reinforcement, a lower magnitude of the reinforcer, a neutral tone. You're not giving in, you're just shaping the behavior. And then 3 is to map all reinforcement sources. Find the unintentional reinforcement in the environment and design around it. Don't just try to eliminate it, because we can't always control the environments our kids are living in. And this is true, especially in the school system. This shift doesn't just help my clients, it helped me align with my values as a practitioner. So here's what it all comes down to. You don't need to eliminate reinforcement to reduce problem behavior. You need to make the right behavior more worth doing. Concurrent schedules aren't just a technical concept. They're a practical, compassionate tool to help you design behavior change that lasts. If you're ready to build ethical, effective behavior plans that actually work in the real world, join us inside the Master ABA Dojo. It's where compassionate BCBAs come together to sharpen their skills and support each other, all while using the science in a way that reflects their values. You don't have to choose between compassion and competence. The dojo is where they meet.